Hey guys, what's up? I'm Sean LaFlock, head performance coach and owner of CrossFit Delray Beach. One of the common things that I see in the gym is everybody wants to get a six pack and they wonder, how do I do it? What exercise do I have to do to really show my abs off? Now, I have gone from being like 4% body fat all the way up to being about 20% body fat. So I kind of know the give and take about weight loss and weight gain. Not to the extent of some people, but I have my own kind of leanness versus fluffiness. I think the biggest misconception that people have is the more abs that I do, the more of a six pack I'll have. And that couldn't be further from the truth. In a lot of cases, doing a lot of aerobic style ab work will actually recruit more fat to that area, because just think, if you're doing aerobic work, you need some kind of fuel utilization. You need fuel for the fire. So technically, in some instances, you might actually put on more weight doing that. There's also other factors like stress and hormone balance that you have to consider, especially if you have been eating a very, very clean diet. So, maybe going down that route after doing like 6 to 9 weeks of eating squeaky clean and seeing if there are some changes. But I'm just going to let you guys know my favorite thing to get a six pack. It's right here. It's called meal prep. Okay. I got myself some chili. Those are all my lunches for like the next week or so, maybe a couple dinners in there. And that's how you get yourself a six pack. You eat right. I know that doesn't sound sexy. You want my 8-minute abs routine, but be honest with you, I would be doing you a disservice if I gave you an exercise and said this is going to get you a six pack. And if anybody is telling you that, they're full of shit. Ab work will not get you a six pack. Ab work in conjunction with clean eating and proper dieting protocols, in the cases of some individuals, will actually get you maybe closer to abs. But this is not something that is just like a snap my fingers and happens. It's something that happens progressively over time, especially if you're further away from having a six pack. That being said, think about why you want a six pack. What is this kind of getting you by getting a six pack? What kind of validation are you looking for? You're awesome. If you're watching this video right now, by default, you're freaking awesome, because you're a part of our community, you're a part of something bigger than yourself, and in some way you're trying to become a better version of yourself. What else would you want, right? So take off the stress of looking a certain way or performing a certain way, and just take a second to take in the fact that you're awesome, okay? And then let's see if you really need to have a six pack for you to feel enough. So that's something I always question. And again, like, trust me, I've had a six pack a bunch of times. It comes, it goes. But, every time I start obsessing over it, I feel like I get more disconnected from my authentic self. And when I allow things to be, it becomes a lot easier for me to just kind of let go of that. Because again, like, everything has a cost. You want a six pack, that means you're not going out drinking. That means you're not eating sweets. That means you're counting your calories. Like, the restriction of your life becomes a lot more imbalanced when you have to eat and perform and sleep a certain way. So it's a nice thing to say that you can get a six pack, but it's a lot different to do it. And then the last factor is genetically and where you are in your life, you may not be able to get a six pack. Like, genetically, there are some people who are unable to get that level of leanness. And I'm sorry, but guess what? Like, my brain isn't going to be bigger than some of yours. I might be able to dunk a basketball. That's just luck of the draw. In terms of skin quality and ability to get that lean, that's also another factor based upon the age of the individual, if you've had kids before, what the quality of your skin is. There's so many different factors, and it's so easy for us to just look at a magazine and be like, I want that. But you don't know what that person had to go through. That individual is selected amongst millions and millions of people to be that individual. And it's a moment in time. Trust me, I've done modeling before. You get to like a sickly level of dehydration and leanness, and you can get yourself a six pack. But then what's your quality of life after that? So those are my thoughts on getting a six pack. It's a myth. You can't just do sit-ups and get a six pack. It doesn't work. If you want to go to town with me or you want to debate about this, I'm happy to actually have a sit-down conversation. But I think most of you guys who are watching this video now, you're probably going to take my word for it. But if you don't, kill the abs as hard as you want for as long as you want, but be objective. Because that's the thing that people don't do, is they do the abs, do all this stuff. Are you getting closer to your goal, or are you just spinning your wheels? Because if you aren't, take that time you're doing your abs and do some meal prep. Guys, I'm Sean LaFlock, head performance coach and co-owner of CrossFit Delray Beach. If you have any questions, please reach out. My email address is sean@crossfitdelraybeach.com. We'll see you next time for some more Mythbusters.